Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in on this week's episode. I am not going to put my hand up like this because I've noticed on all the automatically generated YouTube thumbnails, my hand is like this. Not in all of them, but a lot of them. Apparently my hand is like this a lot, so we'll see if it picks that up. I'm going to talk to you guys about Bitcoin, the price being at 44K. 44K, you don't say. And just talk about the fundamentals not changing. Don't lose focus. And not financial advice, but talking about retirement and if you should put money into your retirement or put it into Bitcoin. Think you know where I'm going to go with it. Again, not financial advice. And get a BitBox02 hardware wallet. Go to bitbox.swiss/Bitcoin Made Simple. Use promo code Bitcoin Made Simple to get 5% off. Go to Movies Plus as well. I'm going to talk about that a little bit too, but there's some cool stuff brewing at Movies Plus. Go to mymoviesplus.com. Use promo code Corey, CORY, and you'll get 1 year for $2 a month. Can't beat that with a stick. And so I would recommend you guys do that. Jump on it while you can. So the price of Bitcoin, on this channel, we talk a lot about price. While I'm pulling up the price, good work, everyone. I think I asked you let's do a social experiment and see what happens if you guys share this episode, the last episode, with people that you think would like this podcast. Good work. It looks like more people listened. So let's try that again. If you're a newcomer, welcome. If you're one of the people that didn't, and we know who you are, just kidding. Then share that out with a few people that you think would like it, and let's keep this train rolling. The price of Bitcoin currently is $44,000, $44,038.34. A lot of people taking victory laps. A lot of people thinking 100K is imminent. A lot of people laughing at the bears. And I think that's a good idea. But yeah, we have a price resurgence that I did not see coming. I thought we were going to be hanging out in the 20s, low 20s for a little bit longer, but that's why I'm not in the business of making predictions. If you're in the business of making predictions, you're in the wrong business, because there is no way to predict this. But it's weird because on an economic level, I don't think a ton of the macro has changed. Like, things haven't gotten better financially. The money printer spigots have not been turned back on, so I don't know where exactly this resurgence is coming from. I'm sure somebody that pays closer attention to all that stuff could tell you something super insightful and ultimately not really mean much. No offense to anybody that does that, but by the way, if anybody has a remedy for how to get scratches out of silver, this is a piece of silver, 1 troy ounce worth a solid $20, maybe. But yeah, that I won in a poker tournament in 2009. So there, I'm outing myself. I can never be a ringer at your poker game. I'm like, I don't know the game. I've never played it before. What's that? I don't want to lose track of my thoughts. But not losing focus. Nobody can predict where it's going to go. So what should you do now? You should buy and stack and stay humble and don't get out over your skis. Again, the advice stays the same. If you are, This is not financial advice. Nothing in here is financial advice. Nothing is. But Corey, why are you talking about finances? Do not buy Bitcoin with money you need in the next 4 years. That's my rule of thumb. So if it's money that you could safely tuck away in a savings account for 4+ years, then by all means, put her in there. I guess if you, well, no, because it depends. If your cash flow supports it, you could put more in there in theory. It all depends on what you're comfortable with putting away for 4 years, because that way you don't have the urge to touch it. We all know, if you've been in this space long enough, that the longer you stay, the 4 years backwards, you never see a lower price. So that's part of the reason. But I think a general rule of thumb of, like, if you're willing to put it in there for 4 years, then you're not concerned with the ups and downs. And you'll be pleasantly surprised. So, by the way, I just watched, if you guys saw me tweet it, I just watched this like viral video, and it's stuck in my head, of this dude. His name's I don't know. Anyways, if you can hear that, he's like some guitar player from Poland that just combines finger playing and drumming on the acoustic, and so this is what's in my head right now. Good tune. Boy, I'm super distracted today. But yeah, if you cannot wait 4 years to touch the Bitcoin that you bought, then maybe you shouldn't have bought it. I have learned from experience. Take it from me. Yes, I have sold Bitcoin. And we all have. And the Bitcoin I didn't sell, I lost in a boating accident. But in all seriousness, here we are. We're ramping up towards a bull market. It looks and appears to be that way. The halvening or halfinning is right around the corner. And it's going to get crazy. That's going to be in April. It's going to be nutso. And I think we're going to be looking at quite a run here. And I know we could have had, I know I probably won't have the same amount of Bitcoin I had for this cycle as I did before. I think that's a staple of every Bitcoiner. You probably have a bigger stack at some point, then you sell a little bit, and then you get stupid. Me personally too, I got out over my skis. That's why I tell you guys to be a little more cautious. I had to reel it in. I was like, whoa. Whenever you're too in, and this was a couple years ago or a handful of years ago at this point, but you're in too deep whenever you cannot sleep at night because you're worried about the price of Bitcoin. I was like, hey, that's not good. I'm a little too concerned here. So that's my recommendation. But then I thought about this recently because people talk about, setting up retirement accounts and all that kind of stuff. And I'm still in my 30s. So, there's people my age. They're like, yeah, we're, putting away a good chunk for retirement, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, well, what if somebody asks me, should I put it in retirement or Bitcoin? And I was like, well, if you apply that to my standard 4-year answer, then the answer would be that you should, unless you are if you're going to retire, let's say, first question, when are you going to retire? Second question is, what's your age? And then that should give you your answer. So if you are 4 years or less from retirement, then no, I probably wouldn't put it in Bitcoin instead of your retirement unless you have enough saved up. But in my humble opinion, if you are, even if you're 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, if you're 10 years away from retirement, I'd put it in Bitcoin instead because you'll be fine. So that goes for anybody that's in their 40s right now. Well, what the hell are you doing? If you're in your 30s, it should be obvious. If you're in your 20s, why would you even think of anything else? And if you are younger than 20, why would you accept any other form of payment? So yeah, that's my recommendation there. And then Movies Plus, we have some cool things going. If you guys remember Pierre Corbin, he's the director of The Great Reset and the Rise of Bitcoin. And he is a programmer, which I didn't know till, well, I mean, we hung out the whole time at Bitcoin 2023. So I think that's whenever I officially learned that's what he did. But he and I, you know, we were talking about all that, and I'm like, yeah, Movies Plus has got to get some technological innovations in place. And I mean, he's been busting his butt and putting this proposal together, and he's got this really, really cool thing that helps us tech-wise just across the board. But it also has an implementation of Bitcoin that I think people will really like yawning when I say this. I'm sorry. I'm tired. The Steelers ruined me last night. The Bitcoin implementation that you Bitcoiners will really, really like. I can't get into the technical details because it isn't ironed out yet. But once we have it up and running, and honestly, if I had to guess, we're probably looking at 7-8 weeks from now. It'll be pretty BAMF if you're a Dane Cook fan, then you'll know what BAMF means. If not, Google it right now. Google it right now. So, other things on my mind at the moment would be having good business partners. I've learned the value of that. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're sitting there looking at bringing on different business partners and, you know, should I work with these people? You have to make sure the deal makes sense for both of you. Because if not, then one will resent the other, but you also have to surround yourself with good people. I've been lucky enough to do that. You know, it's been interesting going through this Movies Plus journey. And here we are, still alive and kicking. And I don't, you know, sometimes I'm not quite sure how we got here. But same with Bitcoin. I'm not quite sure how Bitcoin got here, but it's still kicking. And I hope it hope it doesn't slow down. I'd really like it to pull back because I could use a little bit more time to stack. But it is like face melting at the moment to see how it's curling upwards, and there's no macro. I mean, gold's going down, silver is going down, and the Steelers are going down. But Michigan might win it all, so there we go. And then we head into the Christmas season. And the Christmas season is all about spending time with the folks that you love the most. And so that, you know, it's really interesting. Bitcoin's pumping. Everybody's thinking about the value of Bitcoin. And I'm just stuck in this position of thinking about the value of time. By the way, if you are a Bitcoiner, get a BitBox02 hardware wallet. Go to bitbox.swiss/Bitcoin made simple. Use promo code Bitcoin made simple to get 5% off. Yeah, as you guys know, I mentioned with my mother-in-law, and I hope you guys are continuing to pray for her. She'll have a scan in like a week or so. And just kind of preparing for a gut punch. But hoping for the best. But it's just one of those things that the more I think about it, the more I'm like, me and my wife were talking about this. We said, like, we know a lot of people whose parents have passed away. My wife's father passed away when she was 2, so she doesn't really remember him. And obviously, there's a hole in her heart that will never be filled. But, she has a stepdad that she loves and is her dad here on earth. But we were talking about, like, like, I know a lot of people who lost parents. And they all survived. But then I'm like, why does this feel so hard? You know? If everyone else can survive it, why does it feel like this is unconquerable for us? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. And so we're all just hoping that we can have a good and merry Christmas, and everybody's healthy through it. But the realities are the realities. Like, think about it with, you sit there, you see people like Joe Rogan, for example, who's, obviously incredibly fit and all that kind of stuff. Is he like 54 or 55 or something like that, which isn't like, oh, you're like so old that you're going to like shrivel up and die. But I don't know. It's just this weird thing of like aging that I don't think I'll ever wrap my head around it. I literally still think I'm like 21. Like, in my mind, that's like my point of reference. 21, peak, physical capabilities, peak athleticism, probably, peak, like, I don't know, just energy, everything. And so in my mind, I'm still that person, but evidently I am not. I'm pretty tired, as evidenced by my yawn earlier. I'm hoping that mentioning a yawn is bringing one on. So, what am I saying to you, dear Bitcoiners? I'm saying that don't wish time away, and think about it from a Bitcoin perspective. We're like sitting here, can't wait till Bitcoin takes over the world. Can't wait till the next halving. Can't wait till the next bull market. And it's like, guys, like, you're just wishing time away. And then here's the thing that hit me like a ton of bricks. And it was, so I try to compete with myself to see how little time I can spend on my phone every day. And I got like the little report, and it said that you had spent 5 hours a day on your phone for the last week. And I had that, I don't know why, but I never thought of it this way. But I immediately took 5 and multiplied it by 7. And I was like, I spent almost a day and a half out of the week on my phone. A day and a half of my week on the phone. And yet I sit here and wonder, why does time go by so fast? Why does it feel like Christmas is going by so quick? Oh, I can't believe it's only 2 weeks away, blah, 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 blah. Why does it feel quick? Why does everything feel faster? Why does it feel like I can't slow time down? Which you can't, but you can certainly appreciate the time more. Yeah. So I dare you to look at your phone and figure out how many days a week you're spending on your phone. It's really depressing. Like, really. I mean, it's like, so I've shortened my I remember this commercial. I probably mentioned it before in the podcast, but it was for alcohol, ironically. So it wasn't like a good thing. But the message, it was on Sports Center whenever I was a kid. I'd see this commercial before school every day. And it was like, if you're always waiting for the weekend, then you're wasting 5/7 of your life. And then I'm thinking, well, if I'm spending 2/7 of the rest of my life on my phone, I will have shaved so much time off my life. And that's not great. All right, let's say, what does the average male life expectancy? Average male life is 77 years. Okay. So calculator, 77 divided by 7 times 2. All right. Let's say you get your phone. Say you're a kid. Hopefully you don't get your phone till you're 14, 15. So 77 minus 15, 62 divided by 7 times 2. If you get your phone at 15, at the rate that I was using it, and you live to the average age for a male of 77, you will have spent 17 years on your phone. 17 years on your phone. Now, some of it's inevitable. A lot of our communication takes place there. Newspapers. That was my old excuse. Like, oh, well, like my parents would read the newspaper in the morning. So, like me read my phone. What's the difference? The difference is that the newspaper ended and the phone doesn't. And next thing you know, you're like, oh, it's 11:15. How did I get up and get coffee and sit here and it's 11:15 in the morning? Oh my God. And we wonder why time goes by so quickly. So that's my challenge to you. That's the advice I have. And if you can, share this episode to somebody that you think would like this show. Yikes, my hair's a mess. Help spread the word and get the Bitcoin ball rolling. And get a BitBox 02 hardware wallet. And I will talk to you guys later.